As a blogger, choosing a good blog name is important to us. We want the name to be perfect and really describe what the blog is about. And while choosing a blog domain name is important, we tend to overthink this step and may even put off creating our blog entirely until we find the right perfect name. The thing is, while choosing your blog name is important, it is not going to be the make or break of your site. So if you've been putting off starting your entire blog just over the blog name, it is time to pick your blog name today. And in this video, we're going to be going over a few steps for how you can finally choose that blog name and get your blog started. Hey, my name is Sarah from Business Women Thrive, and I know how hard it can be to choose a blog name because you want it to be perfect. So the first tip I have for you if you are struggling is to make it simple. You don't want something that is going to be overly complicated. You want something simple that people are going to remember. You want your brand and blog domain name to be something easily recognizable. And making your blog name too long or too complicated can make people forget it easily. So don't make it too long and make sure it is also easy to spell. This is not a spelling bee test. We want people to easily be able to spell your blog domain name because if they're typing it into the search bar and they type in the wrong thing because it is too hard to spell, they're going to go to a completely different website, and that is not something that we want. Tip number 2 is to add keywords into your name. So your blog domain name should have some keywords in it. That way people can know immediately when they go to your blog what your niche is. This not only helps your SEO by adding keywords into your blog name, but it really makes your niche clear to your readers. For example, my blog domain name is businesswomenthrive.com, and my niche is helping women start a blog and turn it into their full-time business. Tip number 3 is you could choose your name for your domain name. Some people opt for this when they are just doing more of a personal lifestyle blog, is they just use their first and their last name as their domain name. This option makes finding your domain name pretty easy unless your name is hard to spell or something like that, and it doesn't really have any keywords in it, but you could add them if you liked. So for example, if you wanted to use maybe your first or last name with a keyword after it. For example, Travels with Sarah. That would tell you that I was a travel blog, and it would give you my name, which gives a more personal brand feel if that's what you're going for. If you are looking into this option but you don't want to use your full name for privacy reasons, or you're worried somebody that you know might find it, or if your name is hard to spell, you could use a nickname. There are many bloggers out there that choose to use their name, but they would prefer to use either a name that isn't their own and they go by a pseudonym, or they choose to use a nickname that they would prefer to go by and use that for their blog domain name. Before we get to the next point, if you're getting value out of this, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel down below for more videos just like this. Now, one thing you don't want to do when creating your domain is using numbers. It doesn't really look professional if you have travelswithsarah03.com. It just does not look as professional. Now, if this is an option you were looking at, as in somebody already has the domain name that you want and you thought, okay, I'll use that same one, but I'll just change the end of it by putting numbers on it, this is really not the option that you want to go with. You don't want to have the same or something way too similar to somebody else for your domain name or your business name. You want to have something that is unique and completely different. So if you're still struggling to come up with a name after that, here's a few other tips that you can use. Write down some words that describe what your blog is about. This could be keywords or anything else that you can think of that would fit well in a domain name. Just write them down in a big list and put a few of them together and see if you can come up with something that is interesting for a domain name. Once you have chosen your domain name, it is time for the next step. You have to see if your domain is actually available. This is probably one of the most frustrating parts of choosing a domain, because once you've picked that perfect domain name after hours of thinking, now you have to see if it is actually available, and this is frustrating because a lot of times it's not. The truth is, there are a lot of websites and a lot of blogs, so there is a good chance that the first, second, and even third name that you choose is going to be taken. So be prepared to change your name just in case this happens. To check if your domain name is available, I use SiteGround, which is the hosting company that I have been with. So let's go over how to check if your domain name is actually available, and it is pretty simple to check. So I'm right here on siteground.com, and all you have to do is click right here on the Get Started with the Manage WordPress Hosting if you are choosing to use WordPress for your blog. They have 3 different options. I personally have the startup because it's really all you need to get started, but it doesn't matter which one you click on, they're going to take you to the same place. Just once you're done with this step, it's going to change based off of whatever plan that you've chosen. In step 2, choose a domain name. You can either register a domain name or you can switch one to SiteGround if you already have one, if you are switching. But of course, we are starting a new blog, so we are going to do register a new domain name. So basically, all you have to do from here is type in your domain name, and it will let you know if it is available or not. So let's say the domain name that I'm going for is Blissfully Sarah. And we're going to have it as .com, and we're doing a domain registration, and we can go to proceed. So if you are just checking to see if the domain name is available and you are not actually looking to purchase yet, you don't have to go through with any of these steps. But it does look like Blissfully Sarah is not taken because it has taken me to the next step, and it says domain is available for registration with your hosting account. So I could put in all this information and actually choose a domain. But let's go back to step 2, and let's say we are choosing a domain name that is taken, like Business Women Thrive, because I know that's obviously taken because it is mine. So let's say we are going to see if Business Women Thrive is available. When we go to hit proceed, it will tell us error. An account or pending order is already existing in that domain. So this is basically one of the ways that you can see if your domain is taken or not, because if you try to put it into SiteGround, it will tell you error, somebody already has that name. It is really pretty simple, and if it is not taken and you would like to use SiteGround as your hosting, you can just go ahead and complete the third step from there. And like I said, if you want to check out SiteGround, I will leave a link down below in the description so you can see if your domain is available. I know choosing a domain name for your blog can be really stressful because you just want it to be perfect. But like I said, honestly, it doesn't really matter that much. But if you don't like your name in the future, you always have the option to do a rebrand. It is a little bit more difficult to do a rebrand than it would be to just keep your normal name. But don't forget that this isn't necessarily a permanent thing. If you decide that you want to go in a different direction with your blog in the future, you can do that. So just pick a name, any name at all, and run with it, because most people don't even really pay attention to the name of the blog that they are reading. They are just there for the content. The content is really the most important part. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like if you liked, and subscribe to my channel down below for more videos just like this. And I will see you next week. Bye!